members of St. James and anyone else who may be watching. We're in an extraordinary and an anxious time, and usually in difficult times the church calls us to come together. But right now that seems to be exactly what we can't do. So we're in a time when we've got to learn to be the church in new and different ways. Scattered physically, but joined together by trusting in the Spirit of God that unites all God's people wherever we are, whether we're seen or unseen. Who knows, we might even learn an important spiritual lesson about our faith in this time, as we discipline ourselves in prayer and our giving and care for our well-being and that of our community, by being careful, sensible and diligent in a time of physical distancing. Our building, as you know by now, I hope, is closed. Niall and I are working from home wherever possible. And our parish office, which is usually the hub of our day-to-day activity at St. James, as you know, is eerily quiet and empty. As many of you will also know, at St. James we've been challenged with our communications recently when we lost our parish office computer and a lot of the data that was on that. It's now back up and running, and if you didn't get this week's parish email, please email the parish office today so we can ensure our list is fully restored. By now everyone on our parish list should have received a phone call, and in the coming days everyone will receive a letter. They were mailed yesterday, because we know a large number of our congregation don't have access to the internet and Facebook. There are going to be ongoing phone calls in the coming weeks to check in with our parish family and to respond to those who are in need. And I ask everyone in our church to take time every single day to check in with friends from church, as well as your neighbours, via the email, via phone, as a way of us maintaining our love for one another and practicing our Christian care. I also ask you to show particular care towards those who are very vulnerable at this time. Our food banks are going to have an influx of need as our distancing prevents people earning money and providing for their families. So food banks are asking for practical assistance. You can phone up and make a financial donation. It makes a huge difference. I want to let you know that Mike Anderson and I have been working on getting our St. James podcast up and running. It was going to be a post-Easter project, but given the circumstances, we're hoping to have the first podcast up by this weekend. It will be available on our website and probably here on Facebook as well. And there will be a lot more news in the coming days. Expect regular email blasts from the church as we're learning to be church in new ways. I invite you particularly to join Bishop Susan for worship at 10 o'clock on Sunday on the Diocesan Facebook page. And until we are reunited as St. James in Dundas again, be assured of my prayers. I have the parish list in my prayer area, which is here in my study at home behind me. And I leave you today with our diocesan prayer during a time of pandemic. Let us pray. Loving God, whose peace passes all our understanding, as we face this present pandemic and experience fear and anxiety, may we hear your voice, bringing calm to the storms of our time. Strengthen those who work to limit the spread of infection, and those who seek to care for the sick, and keep us mindful of those most vulnerable. May we shape our living to protect one another, and may our changing habits, practices and sacrifices be for the greater love of our community and all your people. Amen. Take care, St. James. Check in regularly, and God bless.